Hi guys, welcome to another ramble. I hope you are doing well and I hope you are enjoying your day or your night, wherever you are in the world today. Today's ramble is going to touch on um, you can tell how much a person loves themselves based on the relationships and interactions they participate in. Does that make sense? I know the lighting is pretty bad, and I'm sorry, that can't be helped. And then my hair is really funky, which also can't be helped. Um, but let's talk on it. You can tell how much a person loves themselves based on relationships they have and also the interactions that they have. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like that kind of like explains it all, you know? So if you were to look at, I want to say, yeah, the type of company you keep, the type of people you entertain, the relationships that you predominantly have in your life, these are direct reflections of how much you love yourself. Because if you loved yourself, like truly loved yourself, I'm not talking about narcissism. Narcissism, I think, is unhealthy love, you know, like an unevolved type of love, where you're arrogant and I want to say, I'm not, yeah, you're probably conceited and you're very self absorbed and you just kind of think about yourself and your own needs. You know, that's what I think a narcissist is like, emotionally unevolved, doesn't really think about anyone other than themselves. And I mean, it is what it is. That's some people are in that stage of evolution, and that's okay, I suppose. Um, but I'm pretty sure they're miserable, and I'm pretty sure that they don't come across too many, I don't know, people that they can have truly meaningful, satisfying, and authentic connections with. I feel like there's a huge disconnect when you're like, I want to say like on the narcissist spectrum, on that end of the spectrum. Um, if you really love yourself, like it will be mirrored back to you in the people that you choose to entertain or have in your life, you know? And if you were to just sit with yourself, like just take a moment and sit with yourself to assess, I want to say, like the main relationships you have, the acquaintances that you have, and then also just kind of like the outer line characters that you interact with momentarily and occasionally. Yeah, you just look at these interactions and it will tell you a lot about how much you love and care for yourself. Um, I think you can agree. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I think you can agree. Like for me, I know I have a tendency to want to fiddle with things. It's like why? It must be like a nervous tick thing that I have. But anyways, um, when I was younger, I would always like have like people who were like abusive, abusive towards me, like emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually abusive towards me, and I never understood why. You know, I'm like, I'm such a caring person. I'm so loving. I'm so generous. why am I surrounded by all these people, that just take advantage of me or discredit me or don't appreciate me or use me or abuse me, you know? This 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 was like this struggle I had for most of my life, I want to say. But as I get older and as I get wiser and I learn my lessons, I realize that, yeah, they were just mirroring aspects of me that I wasn't awakened to, or parts of me that I wasn't aware of. They're just mirroring it back at me. And I feel like once I realized that that's how this works, um, I started working on myself. I started healing myself. I started kind of like looking at the parts of myself that I dismissed, I suppose. And I started loving those parts of myself. I started shedding light on those parts of myself, illuminating the parts of myself that lay dormant or in the dark, you know? And once I started doing that, guess what? The world reflected who I was back at me. And currently, I have, I want to say, really satisfying interactions with people, you know? So it's like my inner my inner circle is small, you know? It's comprised of like, I don't know, a handful of people, if if even that. And this handful of people, I don't really interact with them on a regular basis. I want to say I will connect with them on average like every, it's pretty bad, like sometimes 8 months to a year. Is it bad? I don't know. It works for me. Um, acquaintances, the acquaintances that I have are pretty pleasant, like, and even though like they have their shortcomings and they have like issues or problems that they're creating for themselves, I don't necessarily let it bother me anymore. I don't take it personally. I don't try to fix anything. I just kind of allow people to live their lives, learn their lessons, and I just kind of like give them that space to process that, you know? I don't interfere. I don't try to fix. I don't try to help. I don't try to save. I just let people be. And I understand that, they're going through lessons that they obviously need to go to. That's not my responsibility or my problem, but I will certainly give them space to experience that experience, you know? I want to say the relationship with myself is super satisfying. Like, I have learned to generate my own peace. It's not dependent on another person. It's not dependent on external circumstances. Yeah, I have been working on building a secure and firm foundation of peace within myself. And along with this peace comes everything else, calmness, balance, happiness, fulfillment, love, satisfaction, respect, patience, grace. All those beautiful attributes are just byproducts of being at peace within myself, you know? And it's funny, I don't know, it's like I want to say attained a certain level of mastery, I I want to say, where I can be amongst chaos and still be at peace with myself. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of like reprogramming, and I want to say constantly reassessing the internal dialogue and atmosphere, and then learning how to just kind of like regulate things in such a way that no matter where I am, I can always regulate myself to be in perfect peace and balance. I obviously have moments where I falter, but then I catch myself and then I bring myself back to that peace. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's really interesting. And the reason I make this video is because I feel like we are all striving to get to that point. And I suppose I made this video to let you know that there is hope, to find that peace within yourself. And then I feel like once you find that 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 sweet spot within yourself, that perfect balance point, and you're able to regulate everything within you, life will also mirror that back at you. You know, I have like, I don't know, a few rotten eggs that appear in my experience from time to time, but because I know how to regulate myself and because I am my own wellspring of peace that is not dependent on external things, I can literally just kind of like look at these people who are trying to create misery in the world and just kind of, and then just keep on keeping on, you know? Yeah, I don't know if this video made sense, but I wanted to put it out there so people know that if you are struggling and if you are like just, I don't know, in a dark place or losing your mind or something, that it is so possible for you to create a life that you love, a life that you don't have to run away from. You can face each day and each moment with a smile, a smiling heart, because you have acquired the recipe or the formula, which involves you generating your own peace. It doesn't start anywhere else. I don't know if people, I think people are looking for like peace and happiness and love and care outside. We spend most of our life doing that. But it's kind of funny, because I feel like we've been programmed to operate in such a way, and in actuality it has nothing to do with the outside. It has everything to do with the inside. I feel like most of my videos have touched on this, but yeah, today I made this video as a friendly reminder that peace starts with you, and you can gauge how much you love yourself, how much peace you have within yourself based on, yeah, your relationships with the people closest to you, people who are acquaintances, and just your interactions in general. I know I've talked on this in other videos, and I've said like, like when I went to the mainland last year, I came across people who are saying that, everybody is rude and, it's so scary to do all these things. But I mean, from my own personal experience, I thought everybody was super nice. And this can also be relayed to when I went to New York. Like, I remember before I went to New York, I had other people who had gone, and they're like telling me how, oh yeah, everybody, I'm sorry if you're from New York, but people were telling me people in New York are so rude and it's whatever. You know, they don't say hi. They don't. They're not considerate. Blah blah blah. But when I went to New York, everybody I met was considerate. You know, like if I bumped into someone, they'd say sorry. They'd hold the door open for me. I met some random dude in Central Park, and he let me feed squirrels with him, and even like gave me nuts, you know, to feed the squirrels. So I'm just like, yeah, it just doesn't. I feel like the world mirrors who you are inside. You know, once you change your insides and you change it to something that you would like to see, then the world mirrors that. You know, so what Gandhi said about be the change you want to see in the world, that's absolutely true. You know, if you want to see more peace, become peace. If you want to see more joy, become joy. If you want to see more love, become love. You know, and you don't have to like give it away, you just become it. And then the world mirrors that back at you. Anyways, this video has gone on far too long, and I don't know if I made sense. But if you learned something, cool. And if you didn't, that's cool too. Blessings to one and all. Thank you for stopping by. Amen.